Welcome to Webinar Wednesday. Today's webinar will focus on the salesperson role, and we will look at how, using the following tools and features of D365 Sales, we can make your job as a salesperson easier. We will present some tools and features that will allow you as a salesperson to stay more organized and communicate more effectively with your leads and customers. The webinar today will cover the four following areas: how we can track Outlook activities in D365. We will also cover working with views in Advanced Find to create custom lists so you can get to your records faster. We will discuss using process flows to provide more consistent structure around your sales process. And finally, we will discuss how to convert your leads to accounts. We will have different individuals presenting each one of these topics today. Let's get started.
As a salesperson, our number one job is to sell to customers. To enable you to do this, you need to be organized. One facet of that is the organization of the communication between you and the customer. A CRM system allows for that. We can take emails that we're getting in Outlook and associate them to contacts, leads, accounts in our CRM system. Today we're going to look at tracking emails and set regarding from Outlook, using email templates to produce consistent emails faster, and creating activities and viewing those differently in D365. So I'm currently in my Outlook inbox, and I can take an email that I have here from Carlos and associate that to the contact or account. And the way I would do that is, if you have the D365 Outlook app installed and you click on the email, you'll see this launch D365 add-in. And now I have a set regarding box available to me, so I can do a lookup on this particular email and look up any one of my accounts or see existing records or contacts. So I'm going to associate this to the contact, Carlos. And it's now, you see that it's now tracked in D365. And you'll notice that it also has a tag here tracked in Dynamics 365. So I can actually jump over to D365, go to Accounts, and we can go to that particular contact. And we will see that in the timeline, I have that email that just came in that I tracked is in the timeline. And also, if I go to the ABC company that this contact is associated with, I will also see the email listed there as well. Something else we need to do as a salesperson is create new messages and track that communication with our customers. So I'm going to create a new message here, and I'm going to select my add-in, and I'm going to associate this new message and set regarding to our contact, Carlos, once again. Once I've done that, I can go to insert a template. And this will ask me which template I want to use, and these templates are stored in D365. And I have a meeting follow-up here as an example, and I'm going to add this to the email. And as you can see, it's populated all of my information, and it's even taken the person's name and imported that, and then whoever's actually sent out this email. So if you had a different salesperson sending out this email, also you'd have a different person at the bottom here. And that is the process. And then I can actually populate Carlos in the to line, and we'll hit send, and as you can see, it's added the recipients into here, and we'll send that to Carlos. Now if I jump over to D365 and go to that contact, I can see that email is now tracked inside of our CRM system. Something else we do as salespeople is create phone call activities, and you do that by going to Plus button here, go into activities, and I can create an email activity, a phone call, or a task for myself. We'll do a phone call activity. Give it a subject. Call Carlos. Who I'm calling, I can do a lookup on recent records. So we'll select Carlos here. I can add more records if I want. You can specify a due date, so if this is something that's going to happen in the future, we can do that for the 7th, and let's say it's 9 a.m. and I can save and close. This will create a phone call activity for me and associate it to the account. Let's jump over to CRM and actually look to see what that looks like. So I can see on my timeline I have an active activity right here. I have to call Carlos on that contact, and if I go to my activities, something else you can do is have a list of all your existing activities, and I can change my set up different views. So I can show this as calendar control, for example, and I can actually see if I go to the week view, and I'll see that the call Carlos activity is there, or I can also even switch this to the Kanban view, where I can have a list of all my activities. So here's my activity, and as I finish things, I can move them into different buckets. As a salesperson, we need to find data faster inside of D365. Today we're going to cover working with views, using advanced find, system views versus personal views, and how do we share views. So what are views? If I go to any one of these entities, for example activities, and I click this drop down, I'm going to see different list of items available to me. So my activities or tasks or phone calls, and if I filter through these, so for example if I go to close activities, it's just basically a list or a matrix of columns and rows. So different fields are available to me across the top here, and I'll see each one of these is a record. So as you can see, if I wanted to just filter on phone calls versus tasks, I'd have to, look through this, apply a sort, filter, whatever the case may be to find the data. We can predefine these and switch between them very quickly. One thing as a salesperson we can do is create our own custom views. So if I'm on the contacts view here, all contacts, and I go to here and go to create view, this will bring up for me the advanced find box, and here's where I can see all the system views that have been created. So these are the out of the box ones, and you may not have access to modify these. I already actually have that window open. The other thing you can do is add new columns to an existing view, or create your own view with your own columns. So I can go add columns and then select from a list, or I can select related entities to this. So instead of contact, I could be, owning entity or user or price list or something that's related to the specific contact. I could also move around the columns, so I can move them around in this list. So I've added city, country, and state into here. If I hit OK at this point and I preview the results, you'll notice that those are the columns I've added. And I can actually apply a filter onto this as well and say I only want to see US. For now, I'm just going to keep it as is. Now, to create a personal view, I would go save as, and we're going to call this country view. Give it a description, hit save. And at this point, I'm able to publish this. We'll close out of here. So you'll now notice if I go to the drop down, I'm going to see all the system views, and then I will see the personal views that I've created. At this point only I can see the personal views, but I'll switch over to the country view. And as you can see, I have the view we created with the extra columns we've created. I can search. The other thing I can do is use the advanced filtering capabilities. So click on this icon here to apply filter. And at this point I have status is equal to active, but let's just add a new row to this. And we'll say where the address 1 country region is equal to US, but I could also say, contains, begins with, all that normal stuff that you would see to allow me to filter, and I would apply this. And now you can see that I'm only seeing list width that are equal to US as a filter. I can clear this filter and apply a different filter on this list. And the other thing I can do is create a new view off of this particular view. So I can go create view, click the drop down, I can save filter using the existing filters as a new view, or save filters to the current view as well by clicking that arrow, and that'll save the filters I've applied for country equaling US. I can also share saved personal views by going to find, so I'm going to go to create view. Under advanced find, we'll go to our country view, and in here if I select save views, you'll see a list of my active views. If I select that specific view, I can go to the and select add user or team, select the user from the list. So let's assume it's Amy. I would select her, add her to the list, give her the ability to share that list, or assign it to someone else, or ability to modify that list, and hit the share button.
D365 CRM comes with a very useful tool called process flows. Process flows can be added to any entity within D365. Today, we are going to look at a process flow that is added to an opportunity within D365. When pursuing an opportunity, you can ensure that users enter data consistently and follow the same steps all the time by using a process flow. A predetermined set of stages and steps are displayed across the top of each window. Each step can represent a field for data entry. Advance across the stages as you make your sale. The stages within the process are completely customizable and can include required steps to achieve stage gating. I've logged into my CRM software, and we're going to work through a new opportunity. We've been contacted about a CRM project, and we've been contacted by the Account Sec Demo Company. They've told me that they're planning on an immediate purchase, and their budget is about $12,000. I think I have a 50% chance of winning this, so I'm going to mark this as a warm rating, and I know that this is being purchased by an individual. So the description I'm going to put in is that the client would like to learn about CRM. The current situation is that they own CRM but do not use it. Would like to start using CRM. So the proposed solution that we're going to make is that we will develop a training plan. So when I use my process flow, I can see that I've done all the different steps. I'm going to confirm that I've identified the decision maker. I'm going to save my opportunity so that now when I qualify my opportunity, I can move that to the next stage. I have no quotes for this yet, so I'm going to create a quote. I'm going to save my quote so that I can add some quote lines. I'm going to add a project-based line, and it's going to be develop a training plan. My billing method for this will be fixed price, and I'm going to quote $12,000. So I'll send that out to the client. I have to add a project price list first. I'll send that out to the client, and when I hear back that I've won, then I'll move to the next stage. I don't have any orders, so I have to close this as a 1. So that takes me through to the contract stage. My contract has been accepted by my customer, so I'll move to the next stage, and I'll mark that the contract is in review and finish my opportunity. So you can see that by advancing through each stage and using the process dropdowns, I can ensure that all the required information about this opportunity is being filled in based on the process flow that's set up on this entity. When you are first introduced to someone inside your D365 CRM, they are considered a lead. You can enter a lead into your D365 CRM directly on the convention show floor via the business card import scanner. As you work with your leads and discover their needs, you will want to qualify them. Qualifying a lead in D365 CRM will create a contact, an account, and an opportunity. To add a lead to my D365 CRM when I'm at a convention or a show, I can use my D365 phone app. I can start in my leads, and I'm going to click the plus sign for the quick add. I'm going to quick add a lead, which will allow me to use the scan business card feature. When I scan my business card, the phone's camera turns on, and I can take a picture of my business card. And then the intelligence built into D365 analyzes that business card and fills in as much of the field as it can. The D365 app built-in intelligence has evaluated the business card. It's determined my name. It's found that my credentials are actually my last name. It's found my phone numbers. It's found the address and the province. It's found part of the postal code, but that's enough for it to find the location on Bing Maps, and it puts a picture of the business card into the contact. This will allow you now to complete the business information quickly and easily. When you start working with your leads in D365 Sales, you can quickly and easily update values that are in your lead information. I'm going to take my list of open leads that include their annual revenue. I'm going to export that to Excel. I'm going to use Excel Online. That's going to allow me to open up the data in a manner that I can change the annual revenue field. I'm going to change it to $100. I'm going to roll that down to all of my leads. And I'm going to save that and send that data back to D365 for Sales. The import tool that's built into Dynamics 365 is then going to read that data and update the annual revenue that I can see from my open leads. So I've refreshed my browser page, and we can now see that the annual revenue for all my leads is now set to $100. So I'm going to start in my accounts view under the letter N so that I can show you that when I qualify a lead, the lead becomes a contact and account and an opportunity. So I'm going to switch back to my leads. I'm going to click on Ivan. And Ivan works for Northwind Traders. So we know that Northwind was not an account because we didn't see them in that last screen. So I'm going to qualify Ivan. So we can see now in D365 we have an open opportunity. We now have a new account, and we have a new contact. Switching to my sales dashboard, I can now see that my new opportunity, if interested in our new offerings, is on my opportunities list. And if I switch to my sales activity dashboard, I can still see my opportunities list, but I can also then see the activities that I need to follow up on. If I switch to my activities board, then I can see just the list of activities that I have to follow up on. So you can see how easy it is to add a lead to Dynamics 365 Sales, how easy it is to follow up with that lead, to change that lead or qualify it into an opportunity, a contact, and an account.